So originally, I was not even gonna make a video after I just tried to warm up on squat and I wasn't able to make it past really 365 without having to stop because of pain. And that's a terrible sign about 6 weeks out from a competition where I need to squat at least 700 in my weight class to be competitive. And considering I squatted nearly 700 a year ago about this time, not getting even into the 400s without pain right now is a terrible sign. And even though today's deadlift day, I needed to try and squat to see if I can actually move some weight without any severe pain, and well, that failed. So I decided to not deadlift either, as that was the beginning of my pain starting about a week and a half ago when the pain started coming back, and instead of making progress, I've started to regress. So I've decided to just do a accessory bodybuilding day. So skipping the squat, skipping the deadlift, and just going straight to the leg press and just doing a full lower body day without the compound movements. So that's what we're gonna do today, because every day is an opportunity and I'm not gonna waste it just because things aren't going my way. And if you've been following along since the beginning, I have now raised up the back pad 2 clicks to increase the hip angle. I've also moved my feet from pretty low on the pad, where when I brought it down, my heels would lift to get full range of motion. But since I've increased the angle of the back pad, I now moved my feet higher up because I'm still gonna get what I consider full range of motion, where calves touch my hamstrings with less heel lift, and this is giving me less activation in my adductor, which is my current problem area. So I'm getting sufficient, Rocky says hi, I am getting sufficient quad stimulus. With the hip angle, I'm trying to get a little bit more glute into this leg press. So that's where we are here. This being the last warm up before I add a little bit more weight for the top set. And while we're always trying to look for an opportunity to make the day great, today is the first time back at what I was doing well before the injury in a 600-pound leg press on this leg press. As we know, the weight is irrelevant from leg press to leg press, but on this exact leg press, where I topped out, the heaviest was 600 pounds for 2 sets of 6. So today, the idea is to, since I skipped squat, skipping deadlift, I'm actually gonna do 4 sets of 6 here on the leg press. Unless I can manage 8 reps on a set or 2, that would be ideal. I am going to try, but let's see. So I'm back at the heaviest leg press that I've done for reps, which means the strength is there. If I can somehow manage to find a way to get my body to heal, I know I can squat and deadlift what I need to be where I need to be on meet day. So this is why I'm still not throwing in the towel. I know the strength is there. My accessories are hitting all-time PRs on leg extensions, back movements, tricep movements, whatever. Everything is going exceedingly well except for the main squat and the main deadlift. And that's just due to pain in the adductor. So if I can somehow manage to get that to work with me over the next several weeks, then I know I can still pull this off. But enough of the yapping, let's get into the set. and indeed hitting a lifetime PR on that maxi cam leg press, doing all 4 sets for 8 reps at 600 pounds. Now, I could have just threw in the towel today, tried the squat, couldn't, knew immediately before even attempted to deadlift that that was not going to happen. And I could have said, okay, today's a no-go, you know, I'll try again another day. No sir. That's for people that don't understand that every day is indeed an opportunity. And I treat every day as an opportunity. So instead of just throwing in a towel, oh, I need a rest day. No, I got a rest day. I have programmed rest days. I have 3 rest days a week. I only have 4 opportunities a week to get better. So I'm not going to waste a day that I have programmed to get better. So what I did was, instead of that workload that I would have put in squatting and deadlifting, I put that effort into something that I can push at a high effort in the leg press, hitting that lifetime PR for set, rep, and weight. And now that I've pushed the quads into a area where they don't need to be pushed, we're not going to be doing any leg press. So we're going to get into some hamstring, some glute, really just a bodybuilding lower day, and continue getting out of today the best that I can and the best that my body will allow for the day. And cutting that leg day short, that's really all that I did that day. I still did some reverse hypers directly after that and finished it up with some Airdyne, as I'm now doing at least 15 minutes of some form of steady state light cardio every single day, just to prepare my weight management for the upcoming meet, so I can make weight with as minimal effort as possible. But we're going to combine both that half-assed lower day into today's upper day, and what you just seen was my first working set of 405, and now we're going to go to my second working set and my third working set, and that will be the top 3 singles for the day. I explained this in a previous video, but if you missed that one, instead of going triples, doubles, singles as is traditionally done, I go from heavy triples until I top it out. And I'm experimenting using, instead of going to now a double and then progressing to singles, I'm going to do 3 heavy singles to mimic the actual meet day experience, where you have an opener, a second attempt, and a third attempt. So today's opener is 405. I'm making a 20-pound jump. Then we will make another medium-sized jump for the top single of the third attempt. So now we're going to jump into the second attempt here at 425. And we are using wrist wraps now. It's not something that I normally do, but I've been having some issues with my thumbs, mostly from working on other projects and smashing them in between things. And it's making holding onto the bar a little bit difficult. So why not use just a little bit of support here to help me? I know that using wrist wraps is not going to hurt my bench, but it can hurt me to not use them. So let's throw them on. Make it look easy. Oh. Not exactly easy, but still a good lift. So up until today, I've been doing my back downs here, 4 sets of 3 with bands in a mid grip. Until last week, I was only able to finish my first set with the bands at 370 pounds. So then I removed the band and was able to finish out my remaining sets just with the straight weight at 370. So I've now decided to just only push the straight weight here forward and remove the bands from this for the rest of the prep. So today we're at 375, adding weight from last week. So I'm still able to progressively overload my bench while I have reduced or removed all of the band weight completely. I think this will be the best step moving forward, where I can still push through all of my sets with enough force that I'm still gonna make progress, and I can still add weight every single week from now all the way into the meet, which is the goal, to continually progress and add weight, peaking my strength until final meet week. And as we are getting deathly close to competition day, I'm adding more and more specificity to the program. So in this slot was normally the pec deck on this day, a secondary chest movement after the bench, more towards hypertrophy. So we are going to continue that same idea with hypertrophy for chest on the secondary movement, but we need to start thinking about also pushing weight, where the pec deck is really just adduction at the shoulder. So this will take that slot, still a fly, a chest fly, but you can see how I perform them. There will be some pushing momentum in the fly. This is why I do them in a bent over position like this. Open wide, I keep a bent elbow, fly, and then push. And you can see how these can have not only good chest hypertrophy with the shoulder adduction here, right? But we're also getting that same movement, but now more of a push, just like a bench press. So I'm still building muscle, still putting on tissue, which I think is one of the most important things as far as moving weight. If you want the secret to getting stronger, get bigger, right? So I'm adding muscle tissue, but I'm also adding in the pushing movement so I can continue to push a strength-based focus. And now for some good old Magnum tricep extensions. I have no plans to remove these right now, as one, I freaking love this machine. It just feels so good. As well as I already have an extremely heavy push tricep movement with the JM press on my heavy push day. So today is my isolated elbow, extremely tricep specific, where the JM press does have shoulder movement, so it's not really an isolated tricep exercise. Where this, the shoulder is locked in position and we only have extension, meaning it's truly a tricep focused movement. And this is just a really badass machine. Yeah, that's a keeper. So for the first time in, I don't even know how long, I've thrown on some 2.5 pounders for a 5-pound jump on these curls, which I've just been using as a rehab tool, as my elbow and bicep tendon on the right side was pretty terrible. Left was manageable, but still some issues as well. But they've been moving quite well, less and less pain every week. So for the first time in quite a while, I'm actually adding some weight to these. I'm also going to go from 8 reps to 6 reps to actually start looking to increase strength here in the curls. I've never seen somebody with a big ass bench have scrawny little biceps. So build the tree trunk, push the big weight, right? And I mean, also, could you ask for a better backdrop here to lift with? So let's knock out these last set of curls and move on to back to finish out today's session with some momentum. Also, if you ever notice that I'm leaning way back when I do these, this is going to give me much more torque and leverage in the area that is most important versus leaning forward. This is why the preacher curl will never not be valid. But don't lean forward when you do these. Scoot all the way up, chest against the pad, and lean back as you lower the bar. Yes. And today is just more validation of be the best you can on the day, and whatever the day presents you, do the best you can with it. So all of my most recent lower day sessions, including this week, have been terrible. Can't even make it to warm-ups. My adductor injury is flaring up worse than it's been in months, and I could have that same energy leading into this bench day, ruining all sorts of motivation, but I didn't. I came in and matched my all-time best PR at 200 kg, 440 bench. Then I hit all my accessories and they all moved well, multiple PRs across the board. I did the best I could on the day, not looking back at previous days and whatever that day gave me. I'm my best version of myself today. So while some people let a few bad sessions get into their head, I'm just going to take every single day as an opportunity, and I'm never going to let an opportunity go to waste. I'm going to always take that opportunity and use it to the best of my ability, because I understand that you don't have forever. Sometimes your last PR is your last PR. And I'm going to treat every single day as if it's an opportunity to be my best, because I might not get another opportunity.